Hey there and welcome back. So today we've got a review for you, and what we're going to look at is this, the Bachmann Austerity. Now I've got this in a really nice livery. I've got this in blue, and one thing that I do love about this is I love the way that it's got all the red bars and connecting rods on this. Just something different, something that you don't see often with locomotives, and I think that this looks really nice. So let's just have a quick look at this. As we know, we've always got the train out of the box ready to go, and it's on the desk behind me waiting. So first thing, let's get into it. Here we have the product code, and as you can see there, I paid £165 for this, and this came from the Ashton Model Centre. Now, one thing what I do think is a little bit cool about the packaging on this, and for those people who may not be aware, there's sometimes locomotives when they've got a engine and the tender, that sometimes they are, well, you can take it off, but there is a plug and they do come permanently fixed together. You can take the plug off for maintenance and what have you, but normally it does come with the plug attached. One thing what's cool about this little bit of packaging, if I bring this up, if you see there, the second you take the sleeve off, it gives you a little caution, a little warning, just to say, you know, when you first take this out of the box, it is connected, so pick them both up at the same time so you don't break it, so the wires don't get pulled out or damaged or anything like that. So I actually think that's a cool little warning that they just put on the box there. So let's get down onto the desk and let's have a look at this locomotive and see how good it is. Okay, so here we have the locomotive. Now, for the purpose of this video, I have very carefully taken the plug out, and we'll come to that in a little bit. But as we can see here, we've got an amazing colour of livery. I love how the red connecting rods look. I think that is really nice finish. So let's carefully separate those two and let's have a look at this properly. So as we can see, we've got a really nice applied number to the front there. We've got plenty of detail on the front of this. If we check, we do have springy buffers. Now, people say about, you know, metal buffers, they always look nicer, they always look better. However, I won't argue with that. Yes, they do. But in the instance of this locomotive, with the way that you've kind of got the matte finish with the paint, the same with the bodywork and the chassis, I think that these black plastic ones look absolutely fantastic. They really go well with the locomotive, and I'm made up that they've put them on, to be honest. I'm made up that they've chosen to go with the black plastic ones on these because they really do look brilliant. They do look the part. Now, if we turn the locomotive round, as you can see, we've got, very unusually, we've got an enough solid wheel there, just two like little holes that are put into that wheel. Let's get this up nice and close. See, we can't get those super close shots with the other camera, which is a shame, but we can still get nice and close with this. So you can see we've got the livery and the lining applied absolutely wonderfully to the side of this locomotive. As you can see there, we've got a bodybuilder's stamp. Now this does have a, so yeah, I will make it through one video without knocking the camera at some point. Oh dear, that should be my challenge. So as you can see, we've got the nice livery, and there is a really cool little thing. There's an extra that I'll show you with this. Now as you can see, looking at this, this is a 280, and by 280 we mean there's two wheels at the front. There are 4 driving wheels and there are no wheels at the back. If we move along, as you can see there, we've got all the rods fitted. We've got all the pipe work, which looks really nice. Now, holding this, it does feel like this is a bit on the plasticky side. but I believe for the most part that it is die cast, so I'll have to check on that. As we can see there, we've got absolutely tons of detail as we move further back. We have got a couple of bits, as you can see there, they are a bit plasticky, but again, with the colour of this, with the way that the colours are done, I think that this actually looks really good on this locomotive. Just go back slightly, you can see there that there is a ton of separately fitted little parts, even to your rails going along the top. The only thing, this little reverser rod here, this this is plastic. As you can see there, it's super flimsy. I do think that piece would have been better in metal, but yeah, I mean, as you can see there, it is slightly bent, just a touch, but however, it doesn't take anything away from the model itself. It still looks fantastic. So let's go round. Now let's just quickly show the back of this roof. It does have a roof vent, but unfortunately this doesn't slide. But if we look into the cab like so, we can see there that we have got a really nice array of detail. We've got plenty of parts that have been picked out. It's just a shame that the dial up here doesn't have a little something on it, as I know like quite a lot of Hornby models and other manufacturers do have that. But you know what, the fact that all of this has been picked out on its own is really good. As we can see, we've got the plug what connects to the tender. We've got our coupling arm which connects up to the tender. I'm not a huge fan of these from Bachmann. I do find sometimes that it does make it easy for them to come off, but that's a little bit of a shame. But however, it does exactly what it needs to. It doesn't seem to affect the locomotive running wise, and like I said, it does the job, so no problems with that. And if you look from the side, to be honest, compared with some, it's not really thin and flimsy. It's quite a decent thick piece of metal, so it definitely is strong enough. I mean, we do have a shine on that. I think if that was done in a matte black, same as the rest of it, that would have helped a little with the locomotive, as this doesn't do anything in regards with transferring power or pickups, so that would have like hid it a little bit better. But as you'll see when it's connected, it does still look great. So if we go around to the other side, we can see there just how well that finish is carried on throughout the whole locomotive. We've got more separately fitted parts, and you can see there with the red just how well that this has been finished off. It really has been finished off so nicely and so crisp with the painting that's been done, especially on these, and the, with these being moving parts too. Like I said, I really do like how this has been done. If we go to the front, you can see there again a lovely bit of livery. You've got a lot of separately fitted parts again. It really does look great, this locomotive. So if we flick this over, and one good thing about this is checking out the brake rigging is already fitted, which is absolutely brilliant, because I know how much of a pain in the bum that can be, and trust me, I've got many locomotives where I just haven't fitted them as I've given up because they are super tricky. So I love the fact that these are pre-fitted for you. As you can see there, you've got all your pickup wires that are going from the locomotive into the tender, and that's to carry back through again, because you've got the chip and the decoder. If we do go here, as you can see, although we've got the great amount of detail, there is no firebox glow with this locomotive, which is a shame. But again, it is a little bit of an older locomotive, so that's definitely nothing to hold against it. But yeah, this really does look good. Now, one thing that's good with this, if we go underneath, as you can see there, unlike the J94, because I don't really wish to go and take all of this off, it actually looks like it's only got the one driven axle. And on the J94, every single axle was driven, which kind of negates these rods or what their purpose would be in real life. But I wasn't too keen on that because it means that there was a lot to go wrong with it. And if you see there, by me moving that wheel slightly, that if they were all connected, every single wheel would be moving before the slack was taken up by the rods, and that isn't the case. So this is definitely driven by the one axle, which is fantastic. So let's pop that down there for 1 second, and let's have a look at this tender. Now, as you can see there, you've got LMR on the side, and again, this is such a brilliant livery. I'm just using the camera light there so you can see like the matte finish on this. It does look really good. Now, I'm not sure what the locomotives looked in real life. I mean, this bit is very like boxy, if you will, but again, if this is exactly how the locomotive is supposed to look, absolutely fantastic. There's no extra details, extra linings picked out on the side there, but again, if that's how this locomotive is in real life, then hey, you know, that is no issue whatsoever. So if we go around to the front, as you can see there, we've got a nice bit of detail. We've got a separately fitted handle here, you've got your coal load just poking out, and then again with the other side, you've got the livery there looking really nice. And then on the back, we've got some more separately fitted parts. Again, you've got your hook. We have springy buffers on this all the way around. You can see the really nice application of the number on the back. Separately fitted ladders, separately fitted rails all around. Now these rails, they are plastic, but however, if I can just, they aren't really flimsy. They're quite a sturdy plastic, and that does show. You can see that they're not bent, they're not twisted or anything like that, and that does look really good. As you can see on the top, we've got this wonderful coal load. Now, I'm not sure if this coal load is removable or not. We'll have to check that. But yeah, we'll see when we're having a look at the manual. Now, if we just flick this over, as you can see there, that is where your plug goes in from the locomotive to the tender. Again, you have to be careful with that because it does have to go under this axle to get there. And then you just got a few little screws at the back, another screw there. As you can see there, you may have to take this wheel out or this axle out to get to that screw to take the body off, but that shouldn't be a problem. And also from to rear, if you can see there, we've got the NEM couplings which are removable, which I always like. Anything happens, you can change them, no problems, and they're not expensive to buy. And also, with some older rolling stock that have got the decoupling permanently fitted, there are ones of these you can get, I believe if I'm right, that have that D shape, so you can fit them, because I know sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes, these alongside with the decouplings, you can on occasion get a bit of a coupling issue. And I don't mean joining together, I mean the way that they move around, because it just seems to move that a little different. But hey, so that is something that you can do as well. So if we just pop that there, now let me just show you this bit. So as you can see there, you've got your rod, and that has to go. Oh, that doesn't go through a gap on this one. I do apologise. Sometimes there is a gap. I forgot about that. And then that literally just hooks onto there. And if you see, that hook does go down quite a long way. Some of them are shorter, so it does mean that you're going to get a really good connection. And if I pop that down there, as you can see, you have a little bit of movement where your coupling hooks up. And as you can see there, where that screw is, you've got a little slider that looks like there is a spring with that too, and that's designed just to take up a little bit of the slack. I do understand, however, though, if it's pulling along, it's going to come apart, or it's backing up, it's going to push together. So it would have been nice to be a bit more rigid, like set in a certain place, but I do understand that, you know, that can give it a little bit of extra maneuverability, as you can see there with the angle we're able to get on this. So that is a great little thing too. So what we'll do, we'll just pop that towards the back. I'll go off camera, I'll just reattach that plug so it's all ready to go onto the layout, and then let's have a look at the details, because you do get quite a bit with this. Right, so let's go through manual stuff. So as we can see here, we've got a basic care and maintenance guide. It does say there about running in, which is good with any loco that you get. It's just a little bit more about the collectors club and a bit about the warranty, and we then get on to the good stuff. Now one thing about this, which is kind of good, is that it does give you a parts list, and as you can see, I mean, it isn't the best, you know, it's just printed on a piece of A4, there's nothing colour, but it is showing quite a good exploded diagram, so you can see what and where everything goes. So you can see there that the pickups are done through these two rails here, and going off of this, as you can see, the motor is directly fed on just to one wheel, and it is a bit of a shame that there's no flywheel on this, so we'll have to see how this motor goes. And there you can see that in the tender, that is where your 21 pin, it looks like, DCC socket is. Now if we turn over to the other side, in fact, there we go. Now normally they say 30 minutes, but this is saying an hour in each direction. That's quite a long time, especially if you're going to need to keep an eye on it, sort of thing. You know, make sure it doesn't derail, stuff like that. So yeah, unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, but that does seem a tad excessive. But hey, no, if that's what they say, then that's what we're going to have to do. Have you got the? We've got the body securing screws, the positions, and how to take everything off, which is always great, because sometimes with some diagrams and some trains what I've had, when it comes to taking things off, I've kind of had to roughly work it out. The diagram hasn't been the best, so yeah, and that is I like that they've done that and that they've shown where everything is. So yeah, so that's a good little thing. Now this is the cool bit. Oh well, maybe not this one, but definitely with the others. If you see there, now that to me, that looks like it's a speaker ring. But if we get close up to the packaging, we've got some more steps. We've got some vacuum pipes. Yeah, that does look like it's for a speaker housing. Yeah, I think that's what that's for. Well, I think I'm accurate in saying that. Now, before I get on to the other little bit, you have this, and this is kind of good. So as you can see there, you've got a little instruction manual on how to fit your nameplates and where to put them on the locomotive too. And this is kind of cool. Now I don't understand why they've not just made them as one single one, because you'd have to, like, you know, cut them all off and then reattach them. But as you can see there are your little brass plates for the nameplates, and here are the nameplates themselves. Now if we get these up nice and close, as you can see there, they are really, really wonderfully done. But yeah, it's so you have to pop this onto that, or well, bend that, pop this onto that, then pop that onto the locomotive. So I don't understand why they've not made these with just like a little bit of a kick on them or something like that. But yeah, hey, we've got separately metal fitted nameplates that you can put on. Absolutely fantastic. Right, so then, I think we've just about covered everything with this. And yeah, so let's pop this down onto the railway. Let's have a little look at it. Let's see what the crawl's like on this, because, you know, it's a good way to tell the quality of a motor is how good that it can crawl, how slow it can go. and we'll get some coaches on it. We'll pop something else with it, because I do have the J94 version of this, well, colour wise anyway, and these two are going to look really nice running around together. So yeah, so let's get that on track and then let's try it. Okay, so here we've got it down the track, we've got it in natural light, and as you can see, it does look really nice. Now unfortunately it does like darken down a bit just because of the way the colour is, but it still looks really lovely, and you can see those red coupling rods, and they look absolutely amazing. Now just quickly, because we are going to run this along with it today, this is the Bachmann EFE J94. As you can see, it's got the similar paint job, similar style with the wheels. This is a brilliant little locomotive. If you've not seen it, there is a review, so go and give that a check out, because that is an absolute cracking little train. Let's pop that to one side. Now, as we know, first, second and third radius, I am, with the way this wheelbase is, I am not expecting this to work on first radius whatsoever. So it does say second radius or larger, but let's give this a try and let's see how this crawl is first, because looking at this, it only picks up on the locomotive, not the tender, so this will be interesting. So let's see how it does. Let's slowly turn up the power. That is crawling. Let me just pop you guys there. That is crawling really, really nicely. And you can see there that it's hardly moving. And that is so quiet. Let me just change direction. That is so quiet. Now then. Oh, there we go. So it's cut out on those points. I mean, it is going incredibly slow. But let's see. Here we go. First radius. I tell you what, it's doing it, but let's just move this one out of the way. Let me just put these coaches back a bit. Now let's try this a bit more, because it is doing it. I mean, it's not... Oh dear. No, there we go, and it's come off. Yeah, so this is definitely... you can see there that back wheel's come off, so it's definitely not compatible with first radius. So, one that is this one. So we shall pop that down on there. That was nice and happy. We shall pop this... we'll have this one facing the other way, and what we'll do, I'll get this all set up off camera. Get me words out. We'll get this set up off camera. We'll watch it leaving the station for the first time, and then yeah, we'll enjoy a nice little running session. Okie dokie, so we're just going to let these two finish off the last couple of circuits, and I'm going to bring both of them to a stop right here, because I think these two really do look nice together. And there we have it, the Bachmann Austerity class. Now, I absolutely love this locomotive. There are a couple of little things with it, but you know, it is absolutely amazing the way it runs. I think it's more the track than the locomotive. But yeah, when I saw this, I kept seeing it on the shelf for month after month, and I was kind of like, please don't get sold, because I would really love to buy this locomotive. And to be honest, the price what I got it at is the cheapest that I'd seen for one of these, so I was even more made up with that too. It looks fantastic on the railway. It looks absolutely brilliant running with these. Now I'm going to do that dreaded thing, and I'm just going to slide it back, so for all the people out there who will possibly cringe, and just look at these two locomotives together. They look really, really, really wonderful. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the review. And again, one absolute cracking looking locomotive. It doesn't have mega detail on it, and do you know what, I really don't mind. Yeah, it doesn't have a running number there, but so what? If anything, you know, there's a bit more fun. You could put your own running number if you wanted to on there as well. So yeah, a fantastic locomotive. I could really recommend buy one of these. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this on your layout. Pulls really well too, no problem with the coaches behind it. Like I said again, alongside with that, with the paints, liveries matching absolute perfectly. Now these will look great in a siding together. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this review. Thumbs up, like and subscribe, and as always, we shall see you in the next video.